Make sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to tear apart this clock spring and we'll both take a look together to see if we can see anything visible that went wrong with it. About a week ago, Rose and I were driving back, and when we got into the car we noticed that the airbag light was on. After a few days, we also noticed that the radio, if you went to go put the volume up and down, it really wasn't doing anything. If you went to change the station, instead of changing the station, it would go like to AM. It was just acting all kinds of weird. A lot of the buttons on the steering wheel were doing that. So I brought it to a shop nearby, and they put their diagnostic machine on there, and this is what it came up with. I don't know if you can read that or not, but it says driver frontal stage 1 deployment control circuit open. And having no knowledge of that, I checked the University of YouTube, and pretty much everybody was saying it was a clock spring. So I looked on how to replace that, and it didn't seem too hard. But first I called up my Ford dealership and another one down the street on top of that, and they both came in about the exact same price. It was going to be hundreds of dollars more. The part cost me $40, but for them to put it on was going to cost hundreds for them to do it. So I figured, you know what, do a little bit more research on YouTube and see if we can fix it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys along for the ride, see how it all goes, because I have never taken off a steering wheel, let alone take off the steering wheel, the airbag, and all the wires that come along with it. So let's check it out. I want to take you guys along with me, and if at any point you guys like it, please give it a thumbs up and help support our channel by subscribing to us. So without further ado, let's get to it. First thing I'm going to do is disconnect my batteries, both sides. It is a diesel this side and the other one over there. They say anytime you, especially with airbags, you don't want it to deploy on you. And me saving hundreds of dollars, don't want it to turn into thousands of dollars. So I'm going to disconnect it, let it sit for about 30 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and start working on it. I don't want this thing swinging back and hit me, so I'm just going to put a rag on it. Better safe than sorry. You don't want it to come back and swing and hit on it, and then a whole bunch of mess happens. Let's go grab the other side. All right, so both batteries, positive and negative, off. I know you just have to take one, but again, I don't want to take the chance. So we're going to let it sit for about 30 minutes and come back out here and we'll get started on it. All right, first thing we need to do is take the cover off. And this is a 732. Bolts 1, 2, and 3. Alright, next we should have to take this off. Should be a couple little clips in here, so I'm going to try to do it so I don't break it. Take the shift cable off. Lift this up. That's one. Get it from around there. Get around from here. 3 clips holding the horn airbag on. One on this side, one on the bottom, and one on this side. So we're going to go down there and see if we can get the best we can. It's pretty hard to do with one hand, so I'm going to try my best. If not, I'll have to put you guys down for that. But let's see. Okay. Let me put you guys in a better spot. A couple wires in here. Here you have to pinch on both sides. That comes out. Now your airbag is unplugged. Then we got to get this one out. Trying to do it with you guys in my lap. There we go. Done. Now we got to unclip that. Just push down on the top and pull out. That is done. Now we got to get that. Next we're going to take out the bolt holding it in. It is a T50. We're going to go ahead and take the steering wheel off. It did have some blue Loctite, so we'll make sure to put some more on. Alrighty. Now we've got 1, 2, 3 bolts holding this in. So we're going to go ahead and put the new one on. Take that off first. Bolts are T10s. Let me go ahead and unplug this first. Got that unplugged. They are not torqued down very heavily, so make sure not to use anything strong on that. Sorry. This off. And there we go. It's off. This is the part number. This tab you don't want to pull back off until you put your steering wheel back on. And if you notice, this engages right here going down into that. Alright, just slips in like that. Three back on, nice and tight. Everything's in. All right, it's all back in. Make sure to plug this back in. All right, just plug back in. Steering wheel. Maybe I ought to clean this up a little bit. Put the steering wheel back in. Alright. Fit on there nicely. Now if you see a little pin right there with that, that's straight up. And you also have these pins right here to help you center it. So we're going to put some more blue Loctite on the bolt and we'll get to it. See, I put some more blue Loctite. Alright, they say this needs to be torqued down to 35 foot-pounds. So we'll get right to that. Trying to get this torqued down to 35. We got you on 35. Okay, 35 foot-pounds. I'll take this out. And grab the airbag. Okay, all the wires are back on. I'm going to double check and make sure, because I don't want to have to do that steering wheel thing again. You are on tight, you are on tight, you are on tight. There we go, that's back on. Now the only thing left to do is, maybe I should check it and make sure everything works fine. I'm going to turn the batteries back on. You don't need to see that. I'll reconnect the batteries and we'll go from there. There you go. It was simple as that. As you can see, the airbag light is off. The buttons are working correctly. The radio's working correctly. I can't have you listen to music because I don't want to get strike. But it goes back and forth to the different stations. It changes the media, which it wasn't doing that before. Steering wheel works perfect. Actually feels a little easier than it was before. So having never done this before, I guess on a scale of 1 to 10 of how hard it was, I'd give it a 3. And the only reason why I'm giving it a solid 3 is because of where I showed you in the back where you take those clips off. That was the hardest part, because you have to bring the clamp out and then push out on this a little bit. So that takes 2 hands to do. But besides that, honestly guys, this was very simple to do. Again, I'd give it a 3 out of 10 as far as difficulty wise goes. Oh geez. You can see right here where it's wrapped around each other. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot of really worn areas on this. Well, that's what it looks like. Actually, you could see I tore it apart. There's not much visible to it. The clock spring looked okay, but I think it has to do a lot with the electronics, the little plugins that it has on there, which would explain a lot of why the radio, if we went to go change the station, instead of changing the station, it would change into like FM2 AM radio. If you went to go make a phone call with it, it really wouldn't even work to do that. But now that we replace it, it does work. So I believe it has a lot to do with the electronics in there, the plug-ins. I don't know what you would call it, but it's real inexpensive to do. It cost me $35 and 30 minutes. And that's with me not knowing what to do. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and I appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up. And if you think about it, subscribe to our channel. It would really help us out, and we'll see you guys all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.